Morning, not a nice day, a bit of a dull day, but even on a dull day when it's cloudy, it gives you lovely free vitamin D3, helps your bones, helps your mood. So we're going to do a little bit of a mobility flow on the chair today. So nearly all of us have been sitting down a lot, so we need to get stretched even in the chair. So hands on the thighs, relax the shoulders away from the ears and a little lean forward and back. So always start small. If there's no warning signs, those eeks, those creaks, anything that doesn't feel right, just keep going and make the move a little bit bigger each time. So when I go forward, I like to consciously bring myself up by pulling my belly button towards my spine. That sensation of pulling up. They're the muscles that help support your spine. The other thing that the spine likes to do is a little bit of twisting, but again, small movements first. So hand across the body onto the side of the thigh. If that makes you feel a little bit disorientated or dizzy with the head, you can keep the head where it is and just move the torso. Small moves for a start, and if that's okay, a gentle push with the hand as we rotate. So any movement, remember, motion is lotion, keep moving. The other thing that the spine does is a side to side move. So you can hold onto the side of the chair and just start easy, or relax the hands down by the side of the chair and reach the fingers down one at a time. Oh, the cat's joining us now. Hello, Miss Tiger. Miss Tiger's joining us, so if you have got cats, you can reach down, stroke the cat as you go side to side. If you want to work a little bit more into that, you can hold one hand on the chair, finger behind the ears, and stretch the elbow up. Bodies don't really like sitting still. They don't really like standing still that often. They like moving, they like walking. So if you are sitting watching the telly a lot, the advice is to get up regularly, once every half an hour if you can. So this idea that sitting is the new smoking. So if you're just sitting statically, not great. One of the moves I like to do for the upper bit of the back, the thoracic spine, is the hugging the tree and then bringing the elbows back. So if I do that sideways on, when I hug the tree, you'll see my back goes into a C shape, and then I'm pulling my shoulder blades back. I'm not arching the back, I'm doing it quite gently. So if you've ever done yoga, there's a pose called cat camel, when you're rounding the back like a cat who's seen a dog, or a camel's hump, and then arching the back. So if you want to do the other way, if you rest your hands on the thigh, the arch of the back, I'll just move my arms so you can see this natural bit of the spine. Women, a lot of women have what we call a lordotic spine. So we've got that big curve in the back that sticks the chest out and pushes the belly out. So if you're rounding the shoulders, that's stretching that area and then easing back. I find it helps me to bring my fingers forward if I'm doing that, allowing my chin to the chest and then drawing my elbows back and sitting like I'm a figurehead on a warship. So none of these moves are sharp, sudden moves. It's nice and slow and controlled. Part of the back is the neck, so any neck move, often the tightness in the neck and shoulders radiates down. I always think that neck moves should be compulsory. First thing in the morning, the noises my neck makes when I start to warm it up. If you want to allow the chin down, so you're looking down to your floor or carpet, and look up to the sky. So I'm always a little bit more cautious when I take my head back in that position. When you look down, it stretches the muscles either side of your cervical vertebrae, these vertebrae at the back of the neck. When you look up, it sort of contracts them or compresses them a little bit. You know what your body likes, it just does. There are always warning signs, just listen to them, be aware of it. You can then make the rowing moves a little bit more. So that's a combination really of your lower back, you can see that stretching, and the upper back. So when you bring the arms forward, we're stretching the back of the shoulders, the lean forward a little bit into the upper back, thoracic spine. Feet flat on the floor here for support, and range of movement very much up to you. Oh, it's one of those days it doesn't know what it's going to do because the sun's going to come out now. It was really dull when we started. So if that all felt all right, another way to stretch the back is hold underneath the thigh. The higher you bring the knee, the more you'll feel the pull. So start small. If it's okay, the knee comes up a little bit higher. I nearly always combine that with ankle roll either way, just because I'm doing two things at once and I like to maximise my time. It's up to you. And the same on the other side. And one side of the body often feels very different to the other side. We're not symmetrical creatures. You think about it, you might have carried a bag on one side, you might have carried kids on one side, you might have an old injury. All of us have a preferred side. So I'm right-handed, so without thinking about it, my right side, my right hand goes out, my right leg goes out first. So let's work a little bit more into the back. If you can, bring the heel up onto the thigh. So this is what we call the figure four position. It's quite a big pull into the hip. Some people can't tolerate it because of the knees. I'll give you an alternative. So we're going back to that lean forward and rock back to the point of mild tension. That's a good indication for any stretch. So that little gentle rock forward and back. We should feel as we go forward the stretch here. So this is a muscle called the glute medius. The side of your hip, if it feels too much in the front of the hip, so this one pings a bit for me. Again, it's an old injury, so I know on this side I'm not quite as mobile on the other side. Then we'd have a go on the other side. So getting in and out of these moves quite slowly, just to check if the knee, the back and the hip is okay. And the opposite arm to the leg does a little reach forward. So this area around the outside of the hip, thigh and bottom is what we're stretching. It all is connected. There used to be an old song, the thigh bones, knee bones connected to the thigh bones connected to the what's it bone. And actually we are all, you know, it's not just one bit of the body. We have to look at the body as a whole, and that is the mind, the emotions. If you're stressed, you'll feel different. If you're tired, you'll feel differently. If you're a little bit dehydrated, those muscles perhaps aren't as happy. So little leans forward, stretch the back. This specific lean forward stretches the hip and the muscles that connect with the back as well. If that just doesn't do it for you, you can just cross your legs like you're going to have tea with the Queen. Just crossing the legs there, if that's comfortable, you get a milder stretch in that position. If you want a bigger stretch in this sort of tea with the Queen position, you're going to just look around to the side you're stretching. So the shoulders and the torso, a gentle look over that side. You can have the hand just to help you round if you want. You could have the hand at the back of the chair if that's okay. So ease yourself around, and then we're going to do the same on the other side. So cross your legs, so the knee on the top of the thigh. Look behind you. When you're doing a twist, you can always come out of it, so you don't have to hold it for very long. Just ease into the position and out of position. These are gentle dynamic stretches, and then uncross. I also like my Sally Bowles stretch. So imagine I'm Sally Bowles sitting like a dancer in the chair with the toes to the side, a plie position to stretch the groin and the inner thigh, the adductor muscles, hands on the thigh and a little lean forward here and back. So we're feeling the groin and the stretch down the inside of the thighs. If you're a little bit more flexible, you might try this with the forearms on the thighs and just leaning halfway down and halfway up. That's a bigger stretch. So the bigger the range of movement for you, it's just try it. Just try it and see. It doesn't have to be a big move. So for you, just a little rocking move might feel that you're easing into the back. bringing the feet in, and we're going to imagine we're holding a beach ball. So the arms come round like you're hugging a tree, and we just bring the arms side to side. Small angle for a start. So if you're in a room, just to the corners, and you're sitting nice and tall, shoulders away from the ears. So when you bring your arms up here, just be aware that the shoulders might try and help you. So imagine you've got your pat butcher earrings on, that big gap between the bottom of your ear and the top of the shoulder. If that's okay, you might want to make that move a little bit bigger. The other rotational move I do, I always think of James Bond or Charlie's Angels. So that move there is just what we've done before, but with a slight press on the palms. And if you imagine James Bond, the man with the golden gun, in my classes I often sing Diamonds Are Forever at this point, and they ask me not to, so I won't doing here. So your level one, your gentle move here, elbows bend, to work the shoulders a bit more and the waist and the mid-back, straighter arms. So the bigger the lever, the more effort it's going to take. Your body will let you know with a ping or a, oh, I don't think so. When you start doing moves that you've not done before, it's completely normal the next day to feel a little bit achy. That's your delayed onset muscle soreness. We all have that. Even Olympic athletes have that. So if you've been working your shoulders, it's also a nice idea to loosen them up by just moving them. So when we did the shoulder stretches and the shoulder section, I gave you lots of ideas for that. But just this simple rolling back and rolling forward, the shoulders connect through to the upper back connects through to the waist and the lower back. So whatever stretch you're doing, as long as it makes you feel good, holistically, the whole body will feel a little bit better. You can do the aerobic move we did in the aerobic section. That is a stretch for the lower back and also bringing the arms up. You think about it, the arms, the muscles, the fascia around the muscles. So fascia I think of as like a haggis, the skin over the haggis. One bit pulling up pulls another bit. And I like this move because this is the way we walk upstairs or climb a ladder or march or run. It's the opposite arm, opposite leg. And that's called a contralateral chain. So one shoulder to the opposite hip. You're then getting a stretch across, a crisscross sort of stretch across the muscles and that fascia that sort of holds us together along with the tendons and ligaments. It's a miracle, really. So little and often, your back will thank you. I'm going to be doing some stretches that you can do in bed, which sort of, you know, even if you can't get into a chair, you can do some sort of gentle rolling around. So that'll be next. So enjoy the rest of your day and well done for working out.